Hello everyone, this is Pauline Angel from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, KARUNYA. In this video, I'm going to explain few programs on array implementation in Java. So let's get started. Let's see our first program. Our first program is to create an array by taking input from the users, and then we are going to search for a particular value or a particular number from the array, and we are going to print how many times that particular value is repeated in that array. So for that, I have written the code. So I'll just explain how I did it. First, I have imported a scanner class so that in the following program, we are going to take the input from the user. And then I have created a class, public class called search. So in that I have given the public static void, which is the main function class. And then I have declared an array. So it is going to take values from the user. And I have here I have given like array equals to new int of 5, which means this array size or array length is 5. So the user is only allowed to give 5 values in this array. And then I have declared and initialized a variable called count, and it is initialized to 0. So further, while explaining the program, I'll explain you where we are going to use this count. And then using the scanner class, which we have imported, I am going to ask the user to give 5 numbers in the array. So to fill up the array, we are going to take those 5 numbers from the user, and using this for loop, we are going to initialize the index positions of those numbers in the array. So first, for example, if the user has given numbers like 2, 4, 6, 4 and 7, 5 numbers. Example, let's take these 5 numbers as the user given input. So we are using this for loop, we are going to give the index positions for these numbers. So this for loop is going to take like the index number, first index number is initialized to 0. So this I value is the index number. So this I is first it is initialized to 0, and then since the length is not greater than 5, it should not be greater than 5. So it should always be less than 5. And then going into the for loop, it is going to give the position number. So array of I is equals to 0 in the first case. So array of 0 equals to the first number which the user has given, which means 2. And then it will increment the I value. Now I will be 1. So array of 1 equals to 4. And it goes on, and it will initialize all the index numbers for these 5 numbers. So after that, I have given a statement so that the user will give a particular number to search whether the number is in the array or not. So after taking the input from the user, like which value we are going to search for, I have declared and initialized a variable called srch. Let's say it's search, for suppose let's say it's search. So this search will take the value which the user has given to search for. If the user has given, let's say if the user has given 4, this search will take the number 4 and store it in this. And now going into the for loop, which is having if condition in it. So this for loop will start searching for this user given input to search whether this 4 is in the array or not. So in this for loop, I have initialized the index position again equals to 0, and the index number should be less than 5, and then it is going into the if condition. So our search value here is 4. Here, after taking the input from the user, this srch is initialized to 4. So we have to search whether the number 4 is here in the array or not. So here the if condition will be like, if 4 equals to array of, here what we have given for in the for loop, we have initialized I equals to 0. So array of I means array of 0. And now it will check whether the array of 0 is 4 or not. Array of 0 is nothing but index position 0. Index position 0 is 2 here. So 4 is not equals to 2. So since 4 is not equals to 2, it will come out of the loop and it will go to the outer for loop and increment the value of I. So in the next step, it will increment the value of I, which is actually 0. So it will increment to 1. So now after incrementing, the I value will be 1. It will come into the if condition, and again the if condition will be checked. If 4 equals to array of, after incrementing the value of I, now value of I is 1. So array of 1. 4 equals to array of 1. Let's check if array of 1 is 4 or not. Yes, it is 4. Array of index number 1 is 4. So 4 equals to 4, which means true. The if condition is true, so it will increment the count, which means here we have initialized the count equals to 0 in the beginning. So actually 0 is the count. So after incrementing, it will be 1. So since we are searching for the number 4, this if condition checks whether whether 4 is in the array or not. If it is in the array, it will say that okay, 4 is currently repeating 1 time. And furthermore, if we are going to if this loop is executed, it will check how many times the 4 is there in the loop. So after increment the count to 1, it is incremented to 0 to 1, so count will be 1, and then it will come out of the loop, and then it will again increment the value of I, and then the value will be 4 equals to array of 2. It will check if the index number 2 is 4 or not. No, it is not 4, it is 6. 4 is not equals to 6, so count will not be incremented, and then it will again go to the for loop, and then it will again increment the I, and now again if condition is checked. After incrementing, our I is 3 now. 4 equals to array of 3. So array of 3, let's see if it is 4. Yes, it is 4. Index number 3 is 4. So 4 equals to 4. Now the condition count will be incremented. Now count will increment to 2. So initially our count value is 0, and then after seeing 4 repeating 1 time, count will be incremented to 1. After getting the input 4 again it has incremented to 2, and then after incrementing the count again, it will check if, since we should not the for loop will execute 4 times, execute 5 times, like for 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and again it will come out of the loop since I will be incremented to 5. I should never be greater than 5, so it will come out of the loop. So it will see 4 equals to array of 4, which means index number 4 is 7, 4 is not equals to 7, so it will come out of the loop. It will increment I value will be 5, so it should not be 5, so it will automatically come out of this whole for loop. So after seeing how many times this number is searched or how many times it is repeating in the loop, count will be incremented that many times and it will come out of the loop. So after coming out of the loop, this statement will be executed saying that the number is found and giving us the number of times the given number is repeating in the loop. So let's see how this code is working. Let's execute this and see. So it is asking us to give 5 numbers for the array. Let's give the same values which we have given, which we have taken for the example. Let's give 2, 4, 6, 4 and 7. It is asking a number to be searched. So let's give 4 again. See, it is giving like number is found. It is repeating 2 times in the array. So this is how this whole program works to search whether a given number is found in the array or not, and it will print how many times the number is repeating in the array. So let's move on to the next program. It is to transpose a 4x4 matrix. So previously, just like the previous program, I have imported the scanner class so as to take the input from the user. So here we can take the input from the user, but I have initialized the values for the matrix itself, or else we can take, since we have imported the scanner class, we can take the input from the user. But I have given the values, I have initialized the values beforehand. So I have created a class called transpose and the main function class, and then in it I have created a matrix. I have declared a variable called matrix, in which I have given the values which are going to be in the matrix. So I have so first of all, I have in this program I am going to display like first it is going to display the actual matrix before transpose, and then it is going to give the matrix after transpose. So before transpose, for the matrix to be displayed, it has to initialize the positions. Like we are going to use 2 for loops. The outer for loop is for calculating, it is for initializing the numbers to rows, and then the inner for loop for columns. So first of all, I here is for rows and j here is for columns. So I initially is 0, and then since it is a 4x4 matrix, it should not be more than 4. Like index numbers are starting from 0 to 3, which means 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, which are totally 4 numbers. So I should be less than 4, and then it will go into the inner for loop to initialize the column numbers. So it will take these particular numbers which I have given, and it will allot the particular index positions for these numbers. Like for example, let's say I equals to 0, which is first row number is initialized to 0. It will go into the inner for loop for the column number, and first column number will also be 0, j equals to 0, and same condition, j should be less than 4, and it will print the matrix like here. The matrix will be printed like 0, which is I, matrix of I and j. So I value is 0, and then j value is also 0 for the first condition in the first case. And then after initializing like this 1 will be initialized in this position. So 1 here. So 1 will be initialized in this position. Next 3. This 3, let's see where it will be initialized. After giving this value, it will come out of the loop and it will come out of this condition, just this print condition. It will come out of this print condition and it will go into this inner for loop in increment j. So after incrementing j will be 1 now. So I value remains the same and then j will be incremented. So 0 and 1. So 3 will be in the position of 0 and 1. Likewise, here 4. So 4, which it will be given in the position of 0 and this after incrementing j one more time, j will be, this is 1 and then the next j will be 2. So 2 and then the last one 5. It will be allotted in the position of 0. After incrementing 2, it will be 3. And then it will again come out of this condition, increment the value to 4. Since j should not be equal to 4 or greater than 4, it will come out of this inner for loop and will go into the outer for loop. Outer for loop, it is for rows. So initially row value is I equals to 0. So for this one, all row numbers, which is the very first one, all are initialized to 0. Only j, which is column number, it has been increasing all this time. Now after coming out of this inner for loop, the row number will be incremented. So this 0 will be incremented to 1. So now 0, after incrementing 0, our row index number will be 1 now. 1 and it will come into the inner for loop and then again it starts incrementing. So after coming out of this one, again j equals to 0. So 0. This index position will be taken by 2 here. 2. So 1 and 0 index position is taken by 2. And then the next one is 4. So this 4 will be allotted in the position of 1. 1 will remain same because the inner for loop is going to be executed 4 times and then it will come out of the for loop to increment the I. So until then the I value will be same. So 1 here 0 is same for all the 4 conditions and after incrementation 1 will be repeated same for 4 times. Only j value will be incremented. When it comes out of the inner loop, then the row index number will be incremented and will be allotted. So this condition, this loop will be executed all this time to form a 4x4 matrix. So this will be continued to form a 4x4 matrix. This is before transpose. So we have to keep in mind, C we have initialized as rows and columns I and j. So to transpose the matrix, we are going to reverse this order, which means the columns will be in the position of rows and rows in the position of columns. So here again, for printing the transpose of the matrix, same 2 for loops will be used. Only change is we are going to reverse this order. We are going to keep j in the position of I and I in the position of j, so that it will calculate the reverse of the matrix. These positions will be reversed, which means first j will be printed. J will be 0 and 0. now 0. And now since only j will be incremented anywhere, even in this for loop or this for loop, j will be incremented until 4 times, and then it will come out of the for loop, and then I will be incremented. So now here rows are constant for 4 times. For 4 until 4 times this loop has been, inner for loop has been incremented. All this time the rows are same. It hasn't been changed. So here also the rows won't change. The column numbers will be changing. But since we are going to transpose it, we are going to print it like j and I. So j will automatically incremented no matter what the condition is. So j will be 1, and then I will be 0. And again j will get incremented to 2. The constant, the row number will, the column number will be constant to 3. Sorry, 0. It will be constant. And again 3, j will be incremented, and then 0. After executing for 4 times, after executing the inner loop for 4 times, then it will come out of the inner loop and then go to the for loop and then increment the I condition. So here let's see, 0 of 0 is 1. Yes, 1 and 0 is 2. And then 2 of 0, which will be 3 here. So 3. So this is how the transpose will be, transpose of the matrix is executed. Now 1 here. So this loop will be executed so that the whole matrix which we are given will be transposed and the rows and columns will be exchanged. So let's see how this whole program works. So here, matrix before transpose, it has taken all these values and it has made into a transpose 4x4 matrix, and then it has transposed the matrix, which is this one is the original matrix before transpose, and after transposing, see the rows and columns are exchanged. 1, 2, 1 here, 1 here, 2. Here it is 2, 3, here it is 3, 1, 1. So this is how 4x4 matrix will be transposed. Now finally let's go to the last program, which is to see whether given 2 strings are anagrams or not. So for your information, anagram is nothing but if 2 strings or 2 words contain same character with same size are called as anagrams. So let's see, for example, anagrams are nothing but if, for example, let me give you some examples for anagrams. Let's say ANGEL, angel, and ANGLE, angle. So these are having same number of characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both angel and angle are having 5 letters and same characters, like it is also having A, angel is having A, angle is having A, angel is having N, angle is having N, angel is having G, and angle is having G. So this is what we say as anagrams. If this 2 words or 2 strings are having same characters, though the words differ, though the meaning of the words may differ, it should make a word which is containing the same characters as the previous word. So these 2 are called anagrams. So like this, we are going to take 2 strings from the user, and then we are going to check whether the two strings are anagrams or not. So likewise, to take the input from the user, I have used a scanner class and then created a class called anagram, and then in it I have initialized two strings, so string 1 and string 2, to take two strings from the user. So after that I have initialized lengths and index, and these two found equals 0 and not found. I'll explain where we are going to use these two. So these here we are taking only two strings, but I have taken three lengths. So I'll tell you later why I have taken three lengths here, but just understand that this length 1 is for length of the string 1 and length 2 is length of the string 2, and I and j will be considered for index positions. So after taking the input from the user, we are going to store the first string in string 1 and next string in string 2, and after that we are going to initialize the length of this first string as length 1 and length of the string 2 to length 2. So after all this, we are going into the actual program. So I am using an if else condition, and in this if else condition, if else loop, I have given two for loops, and in this inner for loop I have given one if condition, and in this outer, and considering this outer for loop, I have given another if condition, and again after that it is going to take another if condition, and after that it is going to take one if else loop, and after that it is going to come out of the loop to take the else condition. So let's see how this works. So first of all, as I have mentioned before, to check whether the two given words are anagrams or not, we have to make sure that both the strings or both the words are of same size or same length. If the two words are not of same length, then automatically it is not an anagram. So first we are going to check whether the two strings are having same length. If the two strings are not having the same length, which means length 1 is not equals to length 2, this whole if condition, the whole loop inside this if condition will not execute, and it will automatically come out of this to the else condition, and this else condition will be printed. If length 1 and length 2 are equal, which means if it is not false, it is true, length 1 equals to length 2, then it will start executing this inner loop. So after confirming that these two lengths are equal, I'm going to initialize any one of these string lengths to len, so that it won't complicate the whole code. And if you're going to take len 1, len 2, len 1, len 2, it will confuse us. So I have initialized this len 1 and len 2 to one single length, which is len. So let's take an example here. If the user has given two strings like cat and act, so these three are having same characters. It is having C, it is having C, A, T, T, and same 3. The length of the first string is 3 and the length of the second string is 3. So automatically the whole length will be 3. So after initializing 3 to the length, it is going to go into the for loop. This for loop is going to check whether the index position is having the same characters or not. So for checking the characters, it is going to, this for loop will be executed. Like, first of all, the first index position of the first string is 0, which means C is in the position of the cat. In cat, the C in the word cat, C will be in the position of 0. So 0 is less than 3. Length is 3. So 0 should be less than 3. And then it will go into the condition which is found equals to 0. Which means after going into the next for loop, if this C is occurred in any of the other positions in the second string, this found will be incremented, which implies that C is found in the other string too. So this found will imply us to it will say that C is also in the other string, A is also in the other string, T is also in the other string, so that it will say that these two are having same characters, so that these two will be anagrams. So this is how this found is going to work. So to check with the other string, J is for the other character, other word. So J of 0 is A. So it will check like string dot character at I, which means character at I is 0 in the first case. So character of 0, which is C, so in the first string, is equals to character of J. J is also 0 in the first condition. So character of J is 0, is in second string is A. So C in the first condition, C equals to A. It is not equal. C is never equals to A. So this condition is false. So it will come out of this if condition, and it will increment the value of J. J will be 1 now. So C equals to now J will be 1. So here 1 in the index position 1, C is there. So C. Since C is equals to C, this if condition is true. Now the found will be incremented and the condition will break. It will come out of the loop. It will come out of this loop, and it will increment the value of I. After incrementing the value of I, it is going to check for A in the second loop, and if the A is found, it again increment the value of found, and that's how it is going to check whether the two given strings are of same characters or not. And then after executing all this, we are going to see if the found is after implementing this for loop, we are going into the next if condition. So in this if condition, we are going to see whether the found is equals to 0. So if the condition found equals to 0, then automatically not found will be incremented. Here not found we have initialized as 0. So this 0 will be incremented to 1, which means the character is not repeated in the second string. The characters in the first string are not equal to the characters in the second string. So automatically it implies that the two words or two strings are different. So they are not anagrams. So this if else loop is going to give us a statement. It is going to check if not found is equals to 1, which means the two strings are different, so they are not anagrams. Or else it directly goes to the else condition, which is found equals to 1 or found equals to 2, whether found should not be equal to 0. That's it. So if this if condition is false, it will come out of this if condition. It won't print this statement. It will go to the else condition, and it will say that the two strings are same, having two same characters, so they are anagrams. If this first of all, if this both two lengths are not equal, automatically it will execute this else condition, or else this whole loop will be executed and it will give us the answer whether they are anagrams or not. So let's see how this code works. Let's give the same characters, same strings which I have used here as example. Let's say cat. It is asking for second string. So let's say act. See, it has given like cat and act are anagrams. So let's execute one more time with another two strings. Let's give peak and another string as keep. Yes, these two are having same characters, so they are anagrams. So this is how we are going to do this program to find whether the given two strings are anagrams or not. In the first program, we have searched for a given particular number in an array, and then the next program we have seen the transpose of a matrix, and finally we did a program to see whether the two strings are anagrams or not. So these are few programs in array implementation in Java. So hope you understood these three programs well. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.